Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum students. Our today's topic of discussion in pathophysiology is response of human body towards inflammation. Students, this response is free of acute or chronic inflammation. This is generalized response or systemic response of the human body towards inflammation or infection. I repeat my words. This is response of different systems of the human body towards inflammation or infection. Please give this camera to me so that I may have a closer look of the material to be displayed. Thank you, Imran. Now, students, please concentrate on this. Systemic manifestations of infection or inflammation. The body responds in following 4 ways. Number 1, acute phase response. Number 2, changes in white blood cell count. Number 3, lymphadenitis. And number 4, fever. Students, let us discuss one by one. What is acute phase response? Students, this is the systemic response of human body towards infection or inflammation. It starts within hours or days of inflammation. In this specific phase, there is increased in the concentration of plasma proteins. And these plasma proteins are called acute phase proteins. Students, these acute phase proteins are synthesized by the liver in response to infection. Examples of acute phase response proteins include fibrinogen, CRP, C-reactive proteins, and serum amyloid A proteins, briefly called as SAA. Students, the synthesis of these acute phase proteins is increased by the liver under the effect of tumor necrosing factor alpha, interleukin 1, and interleukin 6. Students, as a result of these increased in acute phase response proteins, we have increased ESR as a result of infection or inflammation. The second response is Rulex formation. So these are the 2 manifestations of acute phase response proteins increase. Now students, white blood cell count. What happens with the white blood cell count in response to infection? Whenever there is infection or inflammation in the body, there is increase in the number of white blood cells. This is called leukocytosis. The normal white blood cell count ranges from 4,000 to 10,000 cells per cubic liter of blood. As a result of bacterial infections, neutrophils are increased. Eosinophils are increased during allergic reactions and parasitic infections like bronchial asthma. Lymphocytosis means increased number of lymphocytes. It commonly occurs during viral infections. Neutropenia, decreased number of neutrophils. Students, it occurs during viral infections. Now, third response is lymphadenitis. Lymphadenitis means inflammation of lymphatic vessels, lymph nodes, and primary lymphatic organs. Students, you have commonly seen swelling of neck lymph nodes because of streptococcal infections. It is a very common observation in children. Now, last response of human body towards inflammation or infection is fever. Students, fever is produced mainly because of interleukin 1. So, this was very brief about systemic manifestations of inflammation or infection. Thank you, students. Allah Hafiz.